Hello, my friends. Welcome to Action for Assange. Sorry, I was looking at numbers, so we're going to go over here because I forgot to pull those up. I'm Misty Winston, your host. Sleepy Josh is here too. He may or may not be able to talk very much because it's hot as balls and he's got his air conditioning on, and he doesn't want his cats to murder him if he turns it off. So, but he's here. He's hanging out.
There we go.
There he is. Okay, so we don't want to go very long. We just have some updates. I wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on in terms of the Assange case. Also, there's news in the Leonard Peltier case. And we want to talk a little bit about David McBride as well. Just give everybody a reminder sorry, I'm spinning in my chair. I already caught myself. But first, let's do some numbers. So since we're going to be talking about Leonard Peltier, I wanted to add him into the numbers here. These are mind-blowing numbers. I shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny, but it's fucking crazy. Sorry, it's crazy. Like you can't cuss on YouTube like the first minute in, right? Is that right? Or we're not monetized, right?
Yeah,
We
we're
don't
not
care.
monetized. Who gives a
We
shit?
don't care. Fuck YouTube. Okay, so Leonard Peltier was arrested 17,663 days ago. That's a lot of days. He was convicted 17,226 days ago. That is mind-blowing.
That's insane.
It's mind-blowing. I don't have words. He is the longest serving political prisoner in the United States of America, as far as I know. And it is absurd. So we're going to talk a little bit about the update in his case later on, but I wanted to just bring those numbers in since we're doing that. In terms of Julian Assange, I was going to get the McBride numbers. I didn't have time to enter them in though. And also I need to account for the time difference because Australia's like 15 hours in the future. So I need to make sure I have the proper time in there. So I'll have those hopefully by next time. So it has been 4,940 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for journalist and publisher Julian Assange. It has been 1,893 days since Assange was essentially kidnapped from the Ecuadorian embassy and thrown in Belmarsh for, telling the truth. It has been 1,257 days since Julian Assange was denied bail, and that was just 2 days after the initial extradition request was denied by District Judge Vanessa Breitzer, in that denial, she herself called for him to be released and then 2 days later denied him bail. That was fun. It has been, that's all I got really. Yeah, that's all I got in terms of Assange. I mean, we could add like Craig Murray and stuff in there. I'm trying to keep it simple though, because there's a lot of numbers. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people in prison who shouldn't be. Numbers we could go through for a very long time. So, but I did just want to bring those ones up because those are relevant to our discussion today. So first, let me bring up. Sorry, once again, I have a gazillion tabs opened up. And I'm trying to make sure I've got the right one to pull up for you here. Share. Here we go. Okay, this is, get a piece of paper handy and write this down. Once again, this is the address to write to David McBride, who is a dear friend of the show, courageous whistleblower from Australia. He was recently sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison for, once again, telling the truth, exposing the truth. Hey, exposing war crimes. Exposing not a single person who committed those war crimes is in prison, but David McBride sure is. So this is the address that you can write to him. Make sure you fill out everything the way that you see it here. Prisons are pretty ridiculous. I do know that the prison that he is in is at least better than Belmarsh, but they're all pretty picky about how things are written and all of that stuff. Make sure you're not sending anything stupid or obscene or anything that could get him in trouble. I would just recommend letters for now. I'm going to see if I can figure out if he is able to receive books, magazines, things like that. I'm going to see if maybe Kathy Vogan might have an answer for that. Kathy Vogan has answers for everything. Let's be real. So I will try to find that out. I would like to send him some stuff, books and things like that. I'm sure that would be helpful in passing the time. But I do know that he would love to get some mail, some letters of encouragement, words of support, all of that good stuff. Contact with the outside. If you have ever spoken to anybody who's ever been in prison, that is a legit lifesaver. I mean, it really does help just to get that contact from the outside. He is, again, the prison that he's being held in is not, I don't want to make the wrong impression. It's nothing like Belmarsh. He's not essentially in solitary confinement. He's not sequestered away from other people. He's not, his visitations, as far as I know, he's able to get fairly regular visitation from friends and family, his legal team, things like that. So that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about his situation. But still, letters are nice, just knowing that we haven't forgotten him, and that we still support him, all of that good stuff. I know that he would love that very much. So I'll leave that up there for a couple more minutes so everybody can have a chance. I'll pull it up again once more at the end of the show. And also, if you go to his YouTube channel, there is a little letter from his legal team where they describe some of the, they try to answer some of the questions that people had. This was very soon after he was sentenced. So I think that they intend on doing a video pretty soon to do a more in-depth answering of questions, because I think a lot of his supporters were unsure about what exactly this means, and is he going to have to serve the full, whatever, I forget, 58 months, I think maybe, or it's almost 6 years. I know that. It's a lot of time, but there's a potential that he could get out early. I think it's unlikely. I think, unfortunately, the government of Australia is attempting to use him as a message, very similar to how the United States has used the likes of John Kiriakou and Chelsea Manning and Daniel Hale as a message, Ed Snowden. So I think that that's the unfortunate reality. It's very likely he will have to serve his entire sentence, which is a tragedy. I can't imagine losing nearly 6 years of my life. That boggles my brain. I mean, look at what Leonard Peltier has been through. So please write him. Again, I will pull this up. Sleepy, remind me, because I might forget. I will pull this up once again before the end of the show, just so everybody has it and you can get those letters in. I'm going to write another one myself, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, before I go to the gym. I just try to keep it pretty brief. I haven't heard anything back from him yet. But please just, only takes a couple minutes. It doesn't have to be something super fancy, or, you don't have to stress out about like making it a novel. Just, hey, how are you doing? We're still here. We support you. I'm sure he would love to hear from everybody. So, okay. Again, we're going to try to keep this pretty short. We don't have a ton of information to go through, but I did want to update people on the Leonard Peltier situation. Leonard recently, I think it was Monday? Yes, June 10th. That was Monday, correct? Right? Yeah. I think so. So Leonard Peltier has on Monday had his first parole hearing in 15 years. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. 15 years. That's crazy to me. So there is, I guess I can pull up this article here, or we could just share it in the chat as well. I don't want to read the whole thing. I hate reading articles on screen for people because y'all can read. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's so condescending. Let me read this to you. But this is from Native News Online. They did a great little write-up here. It's not super long or anything like that, but I just don't like reading to people. Unless it's my kids. I do like reading to my kids, although they're old enough to read for themselves too. But so they just say here, for the first time in 15 years, Leonard Peltier will be afforded a full parole hearing on Monday, June 10th at the United States Penitentiary in Coleman, Florida. Peltier has been incarcerated for 48 years, longer than I've been alive. Wow. Every time I hear like the number, it blows my mind. For the killing of 2 FBI agents at Ogalla on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in June of 1975. For 5 decades, Peltier has maintained his innocence and hoped for the chance to clear his name. Monday's hearing may well be his last chance at vindication. He is 79, I think. His health has been failing for some time now. I will say here, I'm going to drop this link in the chat for everybody. So that you can go, oops, I'm on the wrong chat. Hold please. Okay, so this is that article that I was just showing you. If anybody wants to go and check that out. I'm also going to share with you, and I was just talking to Sleepy Josh about this before we started. There is a fantastic podcast. It's called Leonard Political Prisoner. It's in a couple, I think it's got 2 seasons. Oh yeah, it does. There's 24 episodes. It is fantastic. It is very good. I've interviewed actually the two hosts of this show a long time ago. The first time I did TNT, my first stint there, I interviewed them on my show. They are fantastic dudes. They got permission from Leonard to do this podcast. It is really listen, this is a very complex case. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, it's been going on for nearly 50 years. So there's a lot of stuff. And they do a really good job of wading through all of that, describing it and all of that in really direct and easy to understand ways. And it's very good. It's very informative. They speak to Leonard. They speak to family members and friends and all of that stuff. They go through the ridiculousness of his trial, all of the insane, like the coercion of witnesses and the falsified evidence and all of that stuff. It's very, very good. So I will also drop this link. This is to the Wondery page, but they also have links here. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. So you have plenty of options on where you would like to listen to it. So there, I just dropped that in the chat as well. So go, if you're interested in the case, if you're not really familiar with it, a lot of people have heard of him, but don't really know the ins and the outs of the case. It's fascinating. It's depressing. It's infuriating. But I highly recommend that podcast and going to check that out. There's also, here is the free Leonard Peltier website. I will drop that in chat as well. There's some good information there that you can go and check out. They have different ways that you can take action, that you can support different media things, downloads, all of that stuff. I also think they have a link to, yes, they have the address if you would like to write to Leonard. Also a great, I can pull that up actually so you guys can write that address down if you're going to write letters, let's go for it. Let's write letters to everybody. That's not right. There it is. Okay, so this is the address to write to Leonard. And as it says there, always address letters this way. Don't do anything fancy, no smiley face, none of that stuff. Write it directly as you see it here, okay? Directly as you see it here. Prisons are stupid. So I'll leave that up on the screen for a couple minutes so everybody has a chance to write it down if you so choose. So again, he had a parole hearing on Monday. From what I was able to gather, there should be a decision announced within the next 21 days from the date of that hearing. I tried to find somebody who maybe had been in the courtroom or maybe who could tell us some information about what happened, what was said, what was the feel. I haven't been able to find anybody so far. To be fair, I have been absolutely swamped this week, so I only did like cursory searches for people. I didn't have time to like really try to dig in and find somebody. I would like to get, if anybody knows somebody from Leonard's camp, from whoever is doing his defense stuff or who's doing his media stuff or whatever, I would love to talk to somebody. I would love to have somebody on the show. I don't care who it is, really, just anybody who's an insider who can give us some more information. I would love to cover that in an in-depth way. So if anybody has somebody or knows somebody, let me know. I would love to have that conversation for sure. This is one of those cases that does not get near enough attention. I try to talk about it as much as I can, but I'm only one person and most people don't talk about it at all, really. I very rarely see anybody talking about it. So unless there's something like the parole hearing, we suddenly saw everybody posting about it, which is great. I just wish people would do that all the time, get some attention on it. So again, I will try to remember to pull that address up again before the end of the show. I did also want to, so there's a thing on Roots Action. Super easy. They made it super easy for you. I will pull that up as well so you can see it, and then I will put it in the chat. This is something you can go and do. Here it is. Right? Yeah. Nope. Negative. I'm dumb. Sorry. There it is. The links looked very similar. Okay, so this is Roots Action. You can see here, I've already sent one in. Please feel free to send one in. They could not have made it easier for you. All you have to do is fill out your name, email, address, the city, state, all that stuff. It's already written, already done. Look, it's already done. Already done. If you would like to delete all this and write your own, fantastic, do it. Or you can just send this along. But this is going to be going to the U.S. Parole Commission, who is in charge of making this decision. We need to bombard them as much as humanly possible. Imagine if they got thousands of these. That really sends a message. So please, 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 please share this with everybody you know. Share it on your social media pages. Try to get as many people to participate as possible. That would be ideal because, again, due to 79 years old, I think 79, I think I'm remembering that correctly. His health has been failing for a while. He's dealt with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure, never mind. I shouldn't speak on his health stuff unless I'm positive. I do know that he had a bout with COVID, things like that, but he's got other, I will say, I know that he has other underlying health stuff and has for some time. Obviously prison doesn't help. So if you can just take just a couple minutes and fill this out, that would be incredibly helpful. Something super easy that everybody can do. Here is the link for that. Okay. I think that's all I have on Leonard. Podcasts, Roots Action. We did the Native News Online. We did what is this? Oh yeah, okay. We did the website. Okay, so that's what I have on Leonard Peltier. Please, please, please do the Roots Action thing. If you do nothing else, if you don't have time to listen to the podcast, if you don't, whatever, I get it. It will take you, I would say probably, 45 seconds to fill that thing out. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Also, this on the free leonardpeltier.com. I should pull that up because I don't know how current this is though. It says if you text free Leonard now to 50302, I think that's that what's it called? The bot thing. I forget what it's called. There's a bot thing. I'm so terrible at names of things. I don't know if this is updated though. I don't know how updated this website is. So I don't know. I'll try to find out. But just do the Roots.
Sorry about that. My internet died.
What happened to you?
I had to reboot my internet.
Oh, I didn't even know you were gone.
Awesome.
I was just over here running my mouth. No, I was trying to talk about Leonard Peltier. So, okay, Roots Action. Please do that. 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 Hey, Mona's here. Hi, Karen. I'm so bad at reading the chat. Who else is here? Oh, Glory Jones. I miss your face, Glory Jones. I love me some Glory Jones. See, I was going to say diabetes, but then I was like, is that right? And I didn't want to say health information and be wrong. I would feel really bad about that. So I second guessed myself. Yes. Okay. I trust Glory Jones. He has diabetes and has had complications from that for a long time. So that's very unfortunate. So yeah, please just go do the Roots Action thing super fast. And we don't have a lot of time. Like I said, they're supposed to, I think legally they have to have a decision within 21 days of the hearing date. So please do that. Like do it right now, even open another tab, do it right now. Okay. So that's all I have on Leonard, I think. I will try to, again, I am going to try to find out, find somebody that I can speak to that's in his camp. That can give us some more information. I would love to do like a whole ass show, like a whole 2-hour show where we can get into the nitty gritty of it, talk about the case, talk about things that we can do to help. I would love to get some more attention on this if we could, just given, the state of his health and the fact that he just had a parole hearing. This is a great time to act on that. So, okay. Also, oh, you know what I meant to do when I was talking about David McBride too? I'm going to send his, he has a website. It's not updated currently, but if anybody wants to go there, there are links to donate to his legal defense. You can buy his book. You can buy merch. He's got shirts and stuff. All of that stuff goes to support him So go check out his website. Certainly check out his book if you are interested in reading that. That's just another way that we can support him. Okay, so Julian Assange, let's get to it. Hey, we're doing so good on time.
Right?
I'm impressed. I told you though, these are just quick updates. This isn't anything super extensive or anything like that. These are just things that we've gotten some new information over the past couple of weeks that I just wanted to make sure I got to you guys. I'm sure most of you, I mean, you follow me on Twitter. I'm sure you've seen it, but I just wanted to get it in video format so everybody had the information and we could talk about it. Okay, so the big news in the Assange case, which was honestly a little bit surprising to me, there is a date. And it's not a year from now. It's July 9th and 10th. Those will be the days that Julian is back in court for the appeal against extradition. So
I did find something interesting, though. The ones that granted the appeal are going to be hearing the case.
Yes. I'm getting ready to pull up. Of course, when we talk about Julian Assange, we're going to talk about Consortium News. Everybody go support Consortium News. Do it now. Donate if you're able to. They do fantastic work. I just tweeted about this the other day. Nobody does Assange coverage like Consortium News. You guys know me. I don't think anybody covers Assange enough except for Consortium News. They're the only ones.
It's a damn fact.
It is a fact. They are the only ones who I have zero complaints about. None. Zero complaints. They cover it extensively and often. They do in-depth coverage. They are in the courtroom. They're incredible. I love them. I cannot express enough how much we should all go and support them. So go donate. If you can't donate, I get it. Sharing the stuff is incredibly helpful, especially Assange stuff. Assange stuff is clobbered on social media, especially since Elon Musk took over, Mr. Free Speech himself. I personally, I can speak to what I have experienced. My page has been absolutely throttled since Elon Musk took over. Now, listen, I don't know if that's just because I tweet about Assange a lot or because I also go straight after Elon Musk on a regular basis. I'm sure both are probably good guesses. I don't hold back for my disdain on Elon Musk. I'm sure that doesn't make him very happy. And he is definitely the kind of narcissist who will name search himself to see who's talking about him. And I talk about him frequently, and it's never nice. So that could be it. But other Assange supporters as well have noticed a marked decrease in engagement and view counts and followers and all of that stuff. It is insane. It's so noticeable that it's not even deniable. It's crazy. So this is what Sleepy Josh was talking about. This is a great write-up by Joe Loria over at Consortium News. The judges in Julian Assange's 2-day appeal hearing on July 9th and 10th are the same who granted Assange a rare victory last month. Maybe this is a good thing. His right to appeal the Home Office's extradition order to the United States. Justices Jeremy Johnson and Victoria Sharp granted Assange the right to appeal on only 2 of 9 requested grounds, but they are significant. The first one was his extradition was incompatible with his free speech rights enshrined in the European Convention on Human Rights, and 2, that he might be prejudiced because of his nationality, not being given First Amendment protection as a non-American. Which, by the way, they've already... more than one American official at high levels, Mike Pompeo being one of them, have stated very clearly that Julian Assange does not have First Amendment protections. They've been very clear about that. So this is not even up for debate, and yet here we are debating it. So he said, Joe continues, however, the denial of his rights in an American courtroom would go beyond the First Amendment to all of his U.S. constitutional rights, according to the 2020 U.S. Supreme Court ruling in USAID versus Alliance for Open Society International, Inc., which says that a non-U.S. citizen acting outside the U.S. has no constitutional protections at all. This is not very long, so I guess I could just read it. The United States was unable to provide assurances that the European equivalent of his constitutional rights would be protected, required under British extradition law. That raises hopes for Assange in his appeal. Assange has been imprisoned in London's notorious Belmarsh prison for more than 5 years on remand pending the outcome of his extradition. He has been charged in the United States for publishing classified documents that reveal prima facie evidence of U.S. state crimes. And then also, obviously, CNN has received an award and many accolades for our coverage of the Julian Assange case. I can't believe they've only gotten one award. Give them all the awards. Can we do that? Can we just give them all the awards? I think INN has given them an award. Pretty sure.
I think so.
I think that was the first year
and
they
shout
did it.
out
We
to
did
INN
it
for he's also streaming our stuff on his stuff tonight.
on like the Rockford and stuff,
Yeah, on Rumble and
or
stuff.
the Rumble. Whatever.
I think YouTube is just here though.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. We need to get our shit together.
Right.
We need to get all the shit together. I'm so bad at this stuff. This is why I need people. Like, I can do the hosting part. I don't like the technology stuff. Makes my brain hurt. Okay, so what this means for Assange, I have no idea, but I think we can all guess that this hearing on the 9th and the 10th will then create another delay for that decision. We have no idea how long. I would venture to guess it will be at least through the election. I've been saying that all along. I think that is very likely, or maybe near the election, so that it can't really make a whole hell of a lot of a difference. Because once he's brought here, he'll be held in pretrial detention, and then that whole process will have to play out. That will take a long time. They definitely don't want to have him here in the meat of the election season, for sure. They don't want this to be an election issue. That is for sure. So as long as they can delay it, I think through the bulk of the election season, I think that they will likely try to do that. So, but these two judges being the same judges that gave him the right to appeal, I think that's interesting. I was expecting it to be two new judges, but it's not. So I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that or what I think about that. Oh, and here, by the way, we were talking about donating. They're doing their spring fund drive right now as well. So please go donate and share the link with your friends and pals and family. So yeah, I'm really not. Oh, somebody said they're watching on Rumble and it's not working.
Yeah, I have no control over that. That's all on.
Yeah, we don't. That's Indy. That's Indy's thing. And yes, Kathy Vogan is brilliant. She is brilliant. I love Kathy Vogan so much. She knows just about everything there is to know about the Assange case, I think. Like, she knows all the things for sure.
She don't forget shit either.
She doesn't, because you know me, like, people like will ask me stuff, and especially if it's like the names of something, my brain will like, and I know, like, I know the stuff, you know what I mean? But like, she's just like, she's kind of like Whitney Webb on the Assange stuff. She's like Whitney Webb.
She's got great recall.
Yes, 100%. She very clearly does not have ADHD. We'll say that, because I can't do that. My brain, there's so much going on up there that it's hard to like focus in on things when I'm directly asked. Like, that's hard for me. Unless I'm like prepared and I know what's coming and all of that stuff. Otherwise, my brain just freezes. She does not have that problem. She is amazing at that recall, and she knows all of the names and dates and all of that stuff. And it is impressive. And yes, I do mean Elon apartheid baby Musk. I sure do. I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
Every time I hear I don't like him, I just think of Rose McGowan saying, I don't like him.
Oh God, I love that video so much. I'm not joking. If I'm ever feeling like
shout out to Rose. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I do too. I've tried to reach out to her, but she's very much offline mostly. She'll peek out every once in a while and like make some crazy banger tweet, and then she's gone again. So yeah, I hope she's okay. But yeah, I'm not joking. If I'm ever like in the need of like feeling fired up about something, I'll go watch that video because it fires me up. I want to run through a brick wall when I watch that video. She's a lie. Oh, it's so good. I think she's a lie. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much.
I think Rose is the only one that has bigger lady balls than you.
Oh no, there's plenty of people who have bigger lady balls. I mean, I have pretty big lady balls. Let's not
Well,
downplay
that
that.
I've
But
spoken to at some point.
yeah, like I mean, Vanessa Beeley, big lady
Oh,
balls,
for sure, for sure.
big
Eve
ass lady
Bartlett.
balls. Eva Bartlett, yeah, Whitney Webb, big ass lady balls. Yeah, there's some people. Stefania Marizzi, big ass lady balls, but also like the softest, nicest, most humble. Like the dichotomy of her is so fascinating to me because she is an absolute bulldog, but she's also so quiet and so humble and so like
She's chill, dude.
soft. Yes.
Chill as fuck.
But then she's also just an absolute badass. And I love that she's those like two things in one. I love that. It makes me very happy. Yeah, she has big lady balls too though. Okay. What else do I have? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I always feel like I'm forgetting something.
We're gonna throw up David's address again.
Yeah, we're gonna do David and Leonard's addresses again. I really feel like I'm forgetting stuff. Oh, I know what I wanted. I remember now. There are already events. Oops. Candles for Assange. You guys know Alex Hills. Candles for Assange. Candles the number 4 Assange. There's a whole lot of shit going on in July. July is jam fucking packed. So plenty of stuff to organize around. This is the July event thread that Alex has up on the page. Please go follow her and share with friends. And if you are planning an event, this is who you send it to. If you would like it to be broadcast from to the Assange world, this is generally where everybody goes to find our stuff. So in July coming up, we have July 3rd, which is Julian's birthday. Obviously, July 4th is Independence Day.
Freedom.
America. Fireworks and eagles and shit. The 9th and the 10th is the hearing, obviously the appeal hearing. The 12th is the anniversary of collateral murder. The 22nd is the anniversary of the DNC leak. The 25th is the anniversary of the Afghan War Diaries, and the 30th is National Whistleblower Day. And y'all, the idea that we have National Whistleblower Day in this country is hilarious to me. Really?
I can't wait till Pompeo says something inspiring.
Right? Just wait. It's coming.
Or the FBI or whatever.
It's coming. It's Antony Blinken and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They're all going to have a tweet where they talk about whistleblowers and how it's important and it's the backbone of democracy and blah, 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 blah. It's such bullshit. It's such
like, yeah,
utter
we
bullshit.
know that. And you're taking that away.
Yes. 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 It's so infuriating to me, the idea that that's an actual thing. But again, we celebrate International Press Freedom Day as we're torturing Julian Assange. The idiocy of anybody
and
who
supplying
buys
weapons to murder a bunch of journalists.
Journalists, yes. They're like over 130
how many journalists
now.
have died in Gaza?
I think over 130.
Yeah, it's
but
insane.
It's hard to get legitimate numbers. We know that they're targeted on a regular basis. I mean, Bizon, she starts almost every one of her videos with, this is day blah, 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 blah of the genocide. I'm still alive. Like, that's the life she lives right now, where she has to like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still alive today. Made it one more day.
There's been multiple times where people thought she was dead.
Yes. Gay waiter Paul tweeted the other day, has anybody heard from Bizon? And I'm like, I went to, because I follow her on Instagram. And I don't really use my Instagram for anything other than gym video, like lifting videos. I watch a lot of lifting videos to like get tips and stuff for the gym, and I follow Bizon. That's about it. I immediately went to her Instagram page, and I'm like, why? Because I don't go on there a whole lot. And I'm like, well, she posted on Instagram 6 hours ago. I don't know though. Yeah, I'm constantly worried. About that whole situation. That's a whole other show. But yes, we are targeting journalists. We are providing the weapons to murder journalists currently right now in Gaza. No question. Freedom. About it. Yeah.
Democracy. Bringing them some democracy.
Aren't
Or
you
even
proud to be
signing
an
the fucking
American?
things.
Right? Yes. We have politicians signing bombs that are going to slaughter children and journalists and women and elderly. We have politicians, mainstream politicians who are on the short list for vice presidential candidate for Donald Trump, signing bombs. That's the kind of country we are, y'all. That's it. That's us. That is us right there. If that does not disgust you.
America. Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could be proud to be like patriotism has always been weird to me. I did nothing to be American. I didn't earn it. I didn't have to work for it. It was luck of the draw. I just happened to be born here. So being proud of that has always been very bizarre to me, but especially knowing all of the things that we are responsible for and all of the death and chaos and destruction that we wreak around the world. How the fuck could you be proud of that? People who are patriotic, it is weird to me. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. It's very bizarre. I don't get it. I get that there's a whole lot of brainwashing and propaganda that goes into all of that, but it's just I don't know how you can look at the reality of who we are, not the people. Like, I love Americans, generally speaking. I think the American people are pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can see it. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of stuff. We're dealing with a lot of very intentional divisionary tactics that are causing us to hate each other and fight amongst ourselves and all of that stuff, which I hate. But I think that, I mean, you look no further than, like, you guys know I'm obsessed with tornadoes. If you look at, like, after a situation in Moore, Oklahoma, everybody just fucking comes together. Nobody gives a shit. We're just going to help each other out. And I think that is really, that's a very American thing. And I love that. I hate our government with every fiber of my being. I hate it. I despise it. And I don't know how you
And
can't.
there's a lot of good people in this country, and the majority of them are not online. So,
yes.
just a shout out.
Dude, yeah. I mean, listen, like I tell people all the time, the whole, the divisionary stuff, I'm surrounded by Trump voters, y'all. I live in small town Ohio, surrounded. Like, Trump voter lives quarter of a mile that way. Trump voter lives that way. There's a guy down the street who, like, literally hand painted this huge ass Trump sign for 2020. It's still up on his fence. 4 years later, it's still up. Like, I'm surrounded by them. I've had conversations with each and every one of them. My kid's best friend's parents are Trump voters. They've been to Trump rallies. She's in the military. They're not bad people. They're really not. They're just propagandized against in different ways to be mad at the wrong things and the wrong people. But they're not bad people. They're really not. They're really not. And they agree with us on a lot.
I mean, case in point, I'm also surrounded by, like, tons of Trump people here.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
And there's like full ass, like, cars rolling around this tiny ass city with, like, Palestinian flags on them, and so I don't know, man. I think a lot of the people are starting to kind of wake up a little bit.
My neighbors across the street are huge Assange supporters. Huge Assange supporters. They're the people that so in exchange we have a field which we don't use, and so we let them use it to bale hay. And we just let them have it for free, and in exchange for that, they will come over and, like, plow our driveway for us in the wintertime, or stuff like that. And so we have conversations on a regular basis. They're very nice people. They're older, maybe in, like, their 60s. They're farmers, and they're just very nice, down to earth people, and they are huge Julian Assange supporters. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, they're not bad people. Do I disagree with them on some things? Of course. Of course. I disagree with pretty much everybody on something. I don't even agree with myself all the time.
Everyone's so goddamn propagandized in this country. Like, I can't even, like...
You can't even fault people for it.
Yeah, I can't fault people for this shit.
No.
They've had this shit drilled into their head for, 4 decades at least.
Yes. I think there are some things you can fault. Like, the Palestine thing is not something that's a red line for me. If you support genocide, we can't be friends.
Oh, no, 100%.
I mean, I do have red lines, obviously. I think everybody should. And supporting genocide is just not something I can ever overlook or get behind. ever.
I haven't talked to one fucking friend that's for that shit, and these are not
No,
political people.
I've lost a lot of friends over this, and I don't miss any, not a one of them.
Yeah,
You know what I
no, I
mean?
get it.
I just don't. I just can't. That's a red line for me. I can't. That's not, because to me it's so obvious. It's so black and white. This isn't even hard. Um, that it's just, I just can't. There's no. I can't make an excuse for it. Um, I just can't. Sorry, it's genocide. That's got to be a red line. But like, I'm friends with people who uh, disagree with me on a whole host of things. You guys know, I mean, I'm friends with a whole shitload of libertarians who I disagree with on a whole host of things. And I'm good friends with them. Like, good friends. We chat. We go on each other's shows. We hang out when we go to the same events.
Yeah, normal people can have conversations with people that don't agree with them and like
Yeah.
don't get butthurt. It's just a fucking conversation.
It's called being a grown ass adult. Like, I guarantee you, you work with everybody you work with, you disagree with them on something.
If you
Everybody.
require your friends to be 100% in lockstep with you, that's called being an authoritarian. That's not left right. That's
And
none of
that's
that.
called being very lonely. You're going to have zero friends.
It's true.
So true. Like, y'all, I disagree with my husband on a lot. A lot. And we're married. You know what I mean? Like, we have very different politics. But I mean, it's something we're able to overlook, and we have healthy debates. And sometimes he gets on my nerves, and it gets a little.
Probably vice versa.
Yes, no question. Oh, no. I think it's probably more the other way around, because he's much more chill. Like, he's a very chill. He has to be to put up with me, right? He's very he is the opposite of me. He's kind of quiet. He's very, logical and straightforward. And I get very fired up and I'm all over the place. And he keeps me calm, or he tries. You know what I mean? But sometimes our conversations get heated, and that's okay. Like, we're able to negotiate those conversations as adults. Like, it's are you an adult? Like, that's just part of living. You're not going to agree with anybody all of the time. And I'm sure that there are people in your family that you don't agree with. There's people you work with you don't agree with. And maybe some of those people aren't capable of having calm conversations about those hot button topics, and that's okay. Just don't have those conversations with them. But I think if you can, you should. I think one of the biggest lies that we were ever told is that we shouldn't discuss politics. We should absolutely discuss politics. I think that was very much put into play.
I don't know. I was
Was it?
always taught you get more information and form new opinions off that.
Yeah, but that's like a whole. I've heard that my whole life. Don't talk about religion or politics. I've heard that my whole life.
Yeah, me
Those
too.
are two things you're not. And those are two things I talk about. Well, I don't talk about religion a ton. Um, I hate religion. I think religion
I mean,
is
to each their own on that one.
organized religion
If no one's hurting anybody, I don't give a shit.
for sure. But organized religion does hurt people. There's no question about it. I mean, look
I
at the
mean,
Catholic Church.
yeah, that
I
is valid.
mean, it is
But
not great.
that's like a difference between the government and the citizens, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you are a religious person, I have zero issue with that. And in fact, I will fight to the death for your right to believe what you want to believe and pray how you want to pray and all of that stuff. 100%. I am an atheist, but I 100% believe that you should have that right. I don't like organized religions. I think that they are unbelievably dangerous and damaging and have caused a whole lot more problems than any good that they've ever done. No question. Pretty much all of the wars.
Oh, all the old school wars, it was all religion.
I mean, if you look at it now, they're using religion as a facade. I don't think that it really has anything to do with Judaism or Islam or any of that stuff. I think that they're using that surface level to make justifications. I really just think it has to do with
Yeah, I mean that's a lot different
power,
than the
money,
entire
control.
mass of the Catholic Church like
Yeah.
waging war back in the day. Like that shit
Yeah.
was
That was
insane.
definitely about religion. No question. Yeah. But I mean, there's anyway, you're not going to agree with everybody, and it's fine. You don't have to.
It's true.
You don't have to.
But hey, like that's one thing that's always bugged me about atheists is a lot of them are like militant against religious people. I'm like, just let them
Yes.
do what the fuck they want. It's just maybe
That's
not be an
like,
asshole. Like you only can control yourself. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah. Yeah, when I first I've always been an atheist. I've always been very suspicious of religion. I can remember being as young as like, I think it was probably like 6. And my grandma had some dude from her church come dressed as Santa Claus to our house. And he had me sit on his lap and asked me if I wanted to go to church. And I remember thinking in my little 6-year-old head, no, not really. Uh, and I always thought, like, it always seemed like bullshit to me. It always seemed like bullshit to me. So I've always been an atheist, but as I got older and started like really asking more substantive questions and like really thinking things through, like people like Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and all of those guys, like those are the people when I started looking at atheism that were thrust upon me. And I will say that I did get some value from their work. Like The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins is a great book. It's great. He's a douche. You know what I mean? Like he's a douche. Like it's hard. It's really hard when those are the people who are propped up as like the face of atheism. Because in my experience, that is not like atheists are. The militant ones are obviously, and this is always the case, they're always the loudest. And so they're always seen as like the representation of what atheism is. And that's not what atheism is. I have no issue with anybody believing anything that they want. I disagree entirely, but I don't care. As long as you're not forcing it upon me, or you're not asking for your religion to inform legislation that impacts my life, I have no problem with it. The second you want your religion to influence my life, that's where we have an issue. You know what I mean? And I think that that's fair. I think that's fair. For sure. All right, let me see. Does anybody have any questions over anything before I bring up those addresses again? Miguel's here. Whatever man is here. And yes, Karen, I do love US citizens. Generally, listen, some of us are assholes, but there's assholes in every group.
It's true.
There are assholes in every single group. All of them. Doesn't matter. I love when people try to do that, like when there's some kind of movement or a protest or something. They're like, "Oh, look, that person did something bad." Yeah, there's an asshole in every group. You can't paint a whole movement based on one person. That makes no sense. And yes, I agree with you, Antoine. Supporting Trump and Biden is de facto supporting genocide. And I will have that conversation with people. I think a lot of them, and yes, RFK the same way. I think a lot of them see other issues as more important for whatever reason. I think, especially in America, people are very focused domestically. And a lot of people don't recognize how foreign policy directly impacts domestic policy. And so I will try to have those conversations with people as often as possible. And anytime somebody says that they support Trump, listen, if you follow me on Twitter, you know, I don't go easy on Trump supporters. I don't go easy on Biden supporters. I certainly don't go easy on Kennedy supporters. I tell them what I think about it. But I'm always willing to engage in those conversations. But if you are a Zionist, if you are somebody that outright supports the state of Israel in their quest to eliminate all of Palestine, we cannot be friends. We just can't. Just can't do it. I just can't do it. It's a red line for sure. And yes, logical thinking is how we got WikiLeaks. That was the entire intention of WikiLeaks, was to create a intelligence agency for the people to expose power. That's what it was meant to do. That's what it did. And that's why they don't like it. So there you have it. All right. Let me pull up these addresses for you again. Shoot, what tab's that on? Okay. This one? Yep. Here's the address for A1, Mr. David McBride. Dear friend of the show, courageous whistleblower from Australia. I'm sure that if you're watching the show, you're familiar with him. You're familiar with his case. If you're not, familiarize yourself with it. He is He's really getting screwed.
He's a great
Hardcore.
guy.
He's a great guy. Like a genuinely fabulous human being. And that's what makes it suck so hard. And Sleepy and I think we mentioned this during his sentencing. It's different for us. Obviously, we care about Assange. Obviously, that's something that both of us have been significantly involved in for a very long time. McBride felt personal because we know him. Like I've never spoken to Julian Assange. I mean, I've spoken to his brother, I've spoken to his father, I've spoken to many of his friends, but I've never had a conversation with Julian Assange. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. Like with David, it felt more personal because he's my friend. I consider him a friend, and it pisses me off.
Big thing.
Yeah, it really pisses me off. I was trying to figure out why. I'm like, why am I so much more emotional? I mean, obviously, I've gotten emotional over Assange as well. I think a lot of that is mostly out of frustration more than
we've
anything.
Talked to David a bunch of times. So.
Yeah, like
it's different. It hits different.
It's different. It does hit different. But I was like so surprised. I'm like, why? And my husband's the one that brought it. He's like, well, maybe because you know him. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that could make things feel a little bit differently. I've had numerous conversations with him. Yeah, it just feels different. So, okay, there's David McBride. Again, you can go to his YouTube channel on the community tab. They have that little letter up. They have a picture of I might actually be in this little thread here. Is it? No. Oh, here it is. Hold on, let me stop that. So this is a photograph of the actual cell that he is in. So obviously much nicer than Belmarsh, for sure. If you've ever seen pictures of the cells in Belmarsh, it does not look like this. And this is the letter that they wrote. This was just after he was sentenced. So, hi everyone, Team David McBride here. Firstly, our deepest thanks to all the support that David's channel has received in the last week in response to recent videos. We've kept David's family informed about it, and they are blown away, to say the least. David will get updated about it in the coming days. There's the image to the actual prison cell. Here's the address. I love that they made a little joke. No unboxing videos. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. So letters only, no glitter or glue, and no abusive material. And always be mindful of the fact that whatever you send, it is going to be looked at by prison staff. Oh, here's the appeal, or I'm sorry, the raise funds for the appeal. So there's the GoFundMe link there. And then also here's the link to where you can get his book, The Nature of Honor. And the book does a great job of, I haven't read it myself yet, but it goes through kind of his history growing up, all of that stuff, and then what led into his decision to go public with the information that he had. So go check that out. Go check out his YouTube page. There's a great many good videos on there detailing the case and things like that. So if you would like to learn more information, that's a great place to start. Also, obviously, again, Consortium News has done fantastic coverage of the McBride stuff. They were in the courtroom as well throughout the whole thing. And also, I think Eddie, God damn it, I'm so bad at names. Eddie Hall, I think it's a girl. I was put off by the name Eddie as well, but it is a female. She is an attorney, and I think she's like the inner circle, and she was also in the courtroom. But she did a great Twitter thread trying to live tweet all of that stuff. Okay, and then I'll put up the address for writing to Peltier. Where is it? That's not it. That's not it. Did I X out of that like an asshole? I think I did. Bastard. I'm so dumb, guys. I will just put up the Roots action thing again in the chat. And then if you want to write to Leonard, maybe just rewind to the earlier part of the show so I don't have to try to find it again. I don't even remember what that was on. Oh, I know. Hold, please. Free Oops. Leonard. I think it was like a hyphen. Fuck my life. Yay! I'm a genius. So please go to that Roots Action link and fill that out. Should like literally just take you a second. And then here's the address for Leonard. And again, always address the letters this way. No deviations, no frillies or whatever. And then we will, if news breaks on Leonard's case, if there's a decision that comes through, hopefully parole will be granted and we can have a little party. But whatever that news is, we will do a show to talk about that. I am going to start working on finding somebody in the camp to come on and have a conversation. I would also love to get in touch with somebody in Mumia's camp if anybody knows anybody. That's another case that obviously doesn't get enough attention. I haven't really heard anything as far as that's going. I don't know what the state is. I don't know if he has appeals left or anything like that, or if he's like eligible for parole. I don't know any of that stuff. So if anybody knows anybody in his camp that would be willing to have a chat, let me know. And I think that's it. And obviously, the Assange hearings, I'll go live. It's gonna be the ass crack of dawn again, but I will go live. Yeah, I'll go live because I feel like nobody else does. Does anybody else go live other than us?
That early? Hell no.
I didn't think so. So I'll go live so that we have at least record of it, coverage of it here in the States. I'll see if I can get in touch with Kathy because they're going to be in the courtroom. Maybe we can get her to come on like post hearing. And yeah, David, that's what thank you, Karen. David is also one of the best Assange supporters. We have had him on the show numerous times, and I can say with a fair amount of certainty that every single time we had him on, he would try to deviate away from talking about himself to ask about Julian. Pretty much every time. So that's just who he is. That's his character. He's more worried about other people. He's more concerned about other people than he is for himself. So, and I've noticed that that's a pretty common trait. It's not across the board. I'm not going to say names because I don't need the drama, but it's not across the board. But generally speaking, the whistleblower community is solid in that way. They're cool. And David is the best. He's been a fantastic voice for Julian, and he is certainly missed in that battle. No question about it. Hey, Dingo, I actually got a notification today for my own show. Can you believe it? Way to go, YouTube. And this is after I did. But this is after I got unsubscribed from my own channel, which still makes me laugh. Like, it's so ridiculous. But I guess maybe they're making up for it. And this time I got a alert. So thanks, YouTube. Okay. I don't think I have anything else. If anybody has any questions, shoot them in the chat really quickly. Other than that, we will be back for sure on July 9th and 10th at the ass crack of dawn to cover the appeal hearings. If there's any word on Leonard's case in the meantime, what is 21? I'm assuming it's 21 business days.
It's probably, more than likely.
So what would that be? It was the 10th. So that's like 5, 10, 15. So that's like the first week, or the first, like 5, 10, 15, 20, like the second week of July. Fuck, that's like, we're going to get hit with a bunch of news.
It's true.
All at once. Okay. So, okay. It could come earlier. I think that, when I looked it up, it said that they have to have a decision within 21 days. So if they go the full 21 days, it could be the same day as Julian's hearing starts, or it could come sooner. I'm not positive. But if there's news in the interim, we will go live and discuss that. Please fill out the Roots Action thing. Are there any holidays? Oh, 4th of July, I guess. That's the only holiday
I
I
don't
think
know.
in
I
the
can't keep track of
States.
holidays. There's so many like random
Dumb
holidays.
ones. Yeah. Bunch of made up bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, please just fill out the Roots Action thing. Like, go now. Just do it really fast. It only takes like 45 seconds. It's a joke of how easy it is. Oh, man, Halo would have kicked my ass. I don't know if she's got it up or Paula. They have new postcards. I don't know if they've tweeted about it yet. This may be like breaking information. I don't see anything on Paula's page. Okay, so they have new postcards. You guys saw the postcards that they did the big postcard campaign, the House Resolution 934 postcard thing that they did. I did a big stack of them. Halo is insane. She will do the return address for you. She addresses them all for you. It could not be any easier. It's so easy. So if you would like to help with that, and get a stack of postcards that you can send to your own representatives or to representatives around the country, if you have like a small little group of friends who would help you fill them out or whatever, like it's so super simple and easy. Go to @HaloBenson on Twitter. I think she is handling the distribution of all of them. I think Paula got the designs and everything set up and ready. But I'm pretty sure Halo's handling the distribution aspect of it. So @HaloBenson, hit her up in her DMs, tell her that you are interested in sending out some postcards, and she will hook you up. She will send you a little box with everything that you need. She makes it incredibly simple. So just hit her up and get a packet of those so that you can send those out. I'm going to get my own. I did a big pack just because I'm extra. But you can do however many you feel comfortable committing to. But we just need, if we can flood, it's super easy. If you can just flood these people with some postcards, at the very least, that gets some more awareness out there and gets people talking about it. Some interns got to look at that. You know what I mean? Like it's just something super easy that we can do to put some pressure on. So @HaloBenson for postcards, please and thank you. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got everything.
I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Hi, Cynic. Okay, so we will be back whenever there's news on Leonard, or if there's nothing before the 9th and 10th. We probably won't be back before then because honestly, there's nothing else really to talk about. We all know what's going on. We all know where the appeal stands. We all know what we're waiting for. There's no reason for me to come on here and talk shit. So we'll be back on July 9th and 10th, ass crack of dawn. I don't have glasses anymore, Cynic. It's so weird. It's honestly so weird still. Yeah, so we'll be back the 9th and 10th. Are we on Twitter? Are we live on Twitter?
I don't know. Maybe if INN put it up, if INN put it up there, maybe.
All right. We really got to get our shit together and get our own stuff going.
I know.
Sleepy and I are very
I've been scattered as shit.
Well, I'm incredibly ADHD and technologically challenged. And I don't know.
It's been more of a motivation issue, I think.
Somebody light a candle up Sleepy's ass. All right, we'll be back July 9th and 10th for sure. Anything else, I'll let you guys know on Twitter, so just follow me there if there's any news on Leonard. But please, 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 Roots Action, go fill that out. Start making phone calls to whoever. Elected representatives, newspapers, whoever you can. Try to get letters to the editor, whatever, about any of these people, Assange, Mumia, Leonard Peltier, all of these people. Like, we need as much noise and attention on that as humanly possible. And yeah, we'll be back at least on the 9th and the 10th, maybe earlier. We'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon, guys.
Bye, everybody.